being a railroad commissioner, one of the things that I really took a hard look at was changing what our environmental rules look like. You know, it had been about 40 years since we have looked at those, and I felt it was really time that we kind of addressed the technology that we're experiencing today. And you know, we're in a whole different dynamic when it comes to retrieving oil from underneath our surface of our earth. So, you know, I'm really happy to say that we finally have got what we refer to as Rule 8, which is now changed to Chapter 4, A and B, that it's finally across the finish line. It went out for public comment. We heard those comments and we've made those appropriate changes and look forward to moving this forward to where we are offering more environmental protections and at the same time upkeeping our economic vitality, you know, that the oil and gas provides for this great state of Texas. Like the General Land Office and working with them with our offshore wells. We've made a lot of progress with them. We've done a lot of teaming efforts with that. We've made a lot of progress with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. When it comes to not only the changes that we kind of did in Rule 8, but also in managing our large amounts of produced water that comes along the side of our production of, you know, gas and oil. Project Lone Star, I think, has been the biggest thing that we've really accomplished as far as an agency and those we regulate. People now can actually go out and get online instead of filling out something by hand, mailing it in the mail, wondering if we got it, wondering if it was recorded. Now that's all done online. And not to mention, we spent lots of dollars getting to the point of being to add to our Lone Star program, and we're going to continue to add to our Lone Star program. Starting in 22-23 fiscal years, we received some federal grant funding that allows us to use that money to plug orphan wells. And the first round of grant funding that we received was about $25 million, and we plugged about 740 wells with that money. And I refer to it as no strings attached. They gave us the money and we went and plugged the wells, which was highly needed. We were able to plug, I think in all total for the year, about 1,800 wells with that additional money. The second round of funding, which is about $80 million, and I think in all total we're expected to get between 300 to 340 million, somewhere in there for this plugging program out of the federal side. But the second round of funding has been with a lot more strings attached. Those are things that I feel like has really put a lot of hurdles in our ability to do what the intent should be. Today we're producing about 6.5 million barrels of oil a day because of that shale and that fracking, that horizontal technology that we have. But alongside that, we generate a lot of water. A lot of people don't realize, but with oil and gas comes water that pretty much contains salinity, salt water, as most people would refer to. And you know, when you look at the volume of 6.5 million barrels of oil, and say that you've got a water cut that's 4 times that, that's basically 25 million barrels of water that we're having to deal with on a daily basis. And I think that this year has proven that we've come a long way in figuring out other uses of that water and giving that most of everywhere west of the 98th meridian here in Texas is really in a drought condition. I think we're making good progress in maybe utilizing some of that water to relieve some of those drought conditions, and that's what I want to continue to work on. Class 6 primacy, for those that may not know, is the ability to safely capture carbon and put it in an underground formation, either to use it later for enhanced oil recovery, or to just basically keep it secured and in that formation until the time for need, or it may stay there forever. So, you know, Texas, being in the oil and gas industry, like I said, we extract and we inject lots of volume of liquids. And I consider Texas probably the biggest expert on that in the world. And so we're having to go out and get a permit, which we call primacy, from the Environmental Protection Agency. And that's been cumbersome for us to do because of some of the water issues that we just talked about. And we're continuing to address those. But that whole program is an important program. I think it brings a lot of opportunity not only for our industry, but in our efforts to clean up the environment from a greenhouse gas emission standpoint. So I'm excited to say that you know, we've done a lot of work. We're going to continue to do a lot of work, And I think it's an important thing for us as we move into next year. I'd also like to talk about just oil and gas in general for the state of Texas. You know, I often say that we're very blessed to have the plethora of and the amount of oil and gas that we have in reserves here. You know, I think we're predicted out for decades to come to have the ability to not only serve our domestic needs, our state needs, but the world's needs. And today, if I had to say that Texas is probably considered the third or fourth largest in the world in supplying those needs to everyone. But what that does specifically for Texas is the money that it brings into our state in the form of severance tax. This last year we broke another record. I think for the last 3 years we continue to break records on what that severance tax has been. You know, last year we did basically about $26 billion in revenue. A lot of that money went to our rainy day fund. So most of that rainy day fund, if not all of it, is made up of severance taxes that we receive from oil and gas. So oil and gas for this state, I think, is the number one most important thing that we have today as far as success in our economy. The staff we have here at the Railroad Commission is amazing because that is where we continue to focus on. We have over 1,000 employees now that work for us, not only here in Austin, but we're throughout the state. We have 12 different divisions. And I couldn't say that I've seen a better agency that doesn't have the level of experience and people that we have and the caring that we have and those that can think in common sense ways as compared to some of the agencies that I've seen. I just recently went up to Pampa, Texas and sat down with some of our employees over our Pampa district office, and I was very impressed. You know, we sat there and we talked about some of the issues, and you could just see the concern on their face, and you could see that they were all dying to come up with resolutions to some of the issues that we were dealing with up there. And I sat there and listened to that, and I thought, man, you know, I've just never seen a better group of people than we have, not only here at this agency, but in our district offices. I don't want to sit here and say I'm bragging, but it's been a lot of work, and it's been a lot of good work and effectiveness that makes things better for us here in Texas. And so, yeah, I really am real proud of this agency, and I'm proud of what we continue to build here, and I'm very proud of the employees that work here.